So in this video, everybody, we'll be trying to get the turbo mocked up, at least the hot side part of it, and I'll show you the motor mount that I forgot to show you in the last one, and whatever else we run into. Alright guys, so I told you I'd show you this motor mount. I reused the piece that I cut off, put a little bit of a bend in it, and then this goes right up to your power steering mount. And I'll have to modify that mount a little bit, or maybe even break it off. It only needs to hold the alternator, so. But I've also got, because there's, you know, it's welded on the inside and the outside, but it's not gusseted. So if I can, I'm pretty much out of bench space. There we are. Come on. One-handed, super expert. So I made that little filler plate in there, and that'll gusset it up, keep it from moving around too much. I'm gonna go ahead and weld it in, but I wanted to show you guys before I had it welded in, because it's, you can't really see much in there. But there's your guys' update on that. I'll show you what it looks like in the car here in just a second. Thanks. Alright, so I got my mount done. Let me see if I can show you guys. You can just see this bolt here, that's the top of it, and then back there are the two bolts that hold it in. Currently I have it welded to that plate, and then when I pull the motor out, I'll weld it the rest of the way. And then I gotta do the bracket for the back of that mount, but I'm not really gonna video that because it's not very interesting, but you guys know what I'm getting at. I'm just basically gonna have something like this on the back, and then obviously this won't be removable, but when if I need to pull the motor out easily, I'll pull these bolts out, pull the tranny cross member off, and then take this motor mount out, this bracket here, pull that out, shift the thing to the side, and then lift it up. It'll come right out, which is basically how you put it in anyways, because everything hits on this, and there's more room on this side than there is this side, because as you can see, the steering box is just right in the way. But yeah, there you are. Alright, so when you go ahead and do one of these hot sides, you go ahead and put every obstacle in your way that you're having to work around. So I got the water pump, the accessory drive, and the old radiator in. I think I said before I'm going to end up using these truck manifolds, V-banded. I tried to run them down and forward, but I ran basically right into this, into these water outlets. So I'm gonna have to run it up and forward. I've got the turbo here. I've got my J-bends here that I ordered from a local auto parts store. My turbo's over here. This is the VS Racing 7875 billet. I've got a cheap T4 flange that I had laying around. I bought some other parts used. This is a 60mm VS wastegate and the blow-off valve next to it, and then I've got a VS 3-inch inlet intercooler I paid 150 bucks for the intercooler and the wastegate and the blow-off valve, and the turbo I bought brand new, and that was $525. So what we're gonna have to do is modify these manifolds to work. So I'd like to run the turbo right here in this open space here, but I need to also be able to get my water lines hooked up because I want to have heat. I gotta end up moving that outlet, and I have to still be able to drain the turbo, which will be here, and I need to run it down to the oil pan or to the front cover wherever I put the bung for the drain. So I have to keep all that in mind, and we'll at least try to get one leg of it ran or both. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so this is the driver's side manifold. I've got it hacked off. Because I just want it to come straight out. I want a V-band right here so I can disconnect it, and then I gotta drop it straight down and go straight downward in the engine bay so that I can clear the battery. You can see I've got that line right there. That's designating that's the top. But we're not really worried about that yet. I just wanted to mark it on there so I knew. I've got my purple mark of where I need to cut out, and then we're going to go ahead and fit after we cut this out and see how it fits, and then go from there. So here I've got my driver's side manifold cut apart, and then the new piece tacked in. I've got to turn sharp here to make that corner there so I don't clip this battery tray, and then I've got to again turn and go forward, then down under the car, and then out. Kind of contemplating, I need to shorten this up, but I'm contemplating on running this pipe down there and then putting the V-band, or putting the V-band up here because I'm so shy on room. So what I might do is cut this all the way up to that pipe and weld the 90 on, and then put the V-band down here where it's easily accessible. Down here where it's easily accessible, because I have more room down there. It's only a V-band's only gonna make me roughly 3/4 of an inch longer, but also if I do that, then it might be a pain to get this manifold in and out. So it's kind of a toss-up. I think I'll probably end up just putting the V-band here as close to the manifold outlet as I can. So alright, so I decided that I will put the V-band underneath the battery tray. As you guys can see, the V-band is considerable thickness, so it's probably actually more than what I said before. It's closer to an inch. But I got the 90 tack, or half of my 180 tacked in. I cut half off of it to make a 90. I'm gonna come down here, cut it off, put the V-band on, and then put like a 45 so it comes down into this open section here. I thought about running it in that open hole there in the K-member right here, but I'm worried that if the engine rocks back and forth, it'll hit or break, and you want your pipes as short as you can. So put a V-band there, run it down here in front of the K-member here as low as I can get. I'm gonna put a expansion joint in there so it can flex, and then run it back up this side somewhere, probably straight up here. Not quite sure yet. Alright guys, so it's a little different than what I showed you earlier. I had that manifold over there sitting on the picnic table on, and it was coming up and then forward. I didn't like that because I had to come down and then back up to come into the collector, so my turbo would sit right here. So I got two driver's side manifolds on it right now. This one's heavily modified, but it's just, this one's straight, does a 90. My V-band's right there at the end of my fingers. Let me show you. And then this one is the driver's side, another driver's side, cut off. It's got a little small section of this pipe crimped down and tack welded on so I can weld a V-band to it. And then I've got the 90 degree with a leg on it, and then that's V-banded in, tacked in, so that my pipe can come up and meet with that pipe over there. What I'm working on right now is this. I'm trying to get it so you guys can see it. Basically a couple 30 degree bends, and this is going to fit in on the bottom of the actual driver's side one here. Now I'm going to run the pipe as low as I can get to keep it out of the way of any fans or anything, and as close to the radiator as I can get so I can have more support to this K member here. But I'm going to clamp this in, and then I'll be right back after I clamp it in to show you what it looks like when it's in. Alright, so you can see it goes right down the center of that open spot. I might add a little bit of more angle so it can come forward some more, come this way, and then run it just right along the bottom of this radiator, and then turn up and go straight into the turbo. And I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to mount my wastegate, but I'm not sure. The thing's a behemoth. So that's kind of up in the air. I don't have the flange for the turbo because I don't want to run that junk one. And I just bought another one. I don't have the flex pipe for my flex joint that'll go right in here somewhere, so it doesn't crack. I don't want any of my welds to crack, and you need an expansion joint in case when you weld it, it pulls in or anything. So I'm waiting on that. So alright, so now I'm actually going to call it a day. I've got it run across. There's not really much further I can go because I need that flex joint. I need to put the flex joint here in the middle, and then from there I need to plan on how these merge. And what I'll probably do is have this bottom one come straight up, and then have it kink a little bit so I can put a wastegate. I want the wastegate nice and accessible, like here or something. But I also need to figure out, you know, where I'm gonna route my hoses and stuff. So I've got to keep that in mind. But I'm basically out of flanges, and I'm out of that coupler that I need, so it's gonna have to wait until the parts get here. But hopefully this is something you guys can get into. It's pretty fun putting this puzzle together, so I had a lot of fun doing it anyways. Hopefully you guys have fun watching it. Junkyard parts, just some V-banded truck manifolds. Like I said earlier, I used two driver's sides. The one on that side's flipped upside down, and this one's flipped, well, obviously just on the passenger side, so it's down and forward. And next week when we get this expansion joint and the flange, then I'll be building the mount and everything for it, and we'll go from there. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.